Hi, Mandy.
Hi, Sarah.
You are the author of Essence and Alchimie, which I have had the pleasure of translating into French and which has just been published by the Éditions. Could you please introduce yourself and let us know how you came to perfumery?
Yes, I'm Mandy Aftel. I am many things. I am an author. I am an artisanal natural perfumer. I have a museum, which is a funny sentence to say, but I do have a museum. I work in flavor as well. I teach natural perfume. So how I got there was long ago, almost 30 years ago. I was a psychologist working with artists and writers, and I decided I wanted to write a novel and make my main character a perfumer. And I loved research, and it was before the internet was as big as it is. So I would go to antique bookshops and book fairs and look for books on perfume. So I started by reading old books, and I knew I was only interested in naturals. I just knew that. And the old books were full of lore and the history of the world, the exploration of the world, passion, eccentric characters. I was very hooked by that. And then I went to an aromatherapy studio and took a class, still researching for my book. And the minute I smelled and touched those natural essences, I was just in love. And it kind of hasn't stopped. So what I do now, I've gone on from that book. I discovered a whole world in Essence and Alchemy, which I've brought to life in my museum, the Aftel Archive of Curious Scents. Along the way, I discovered that essential oils were used for flavor and wrote 2 books about flavor and worked with a 2-star Michelin chef and have a line of chef's essences for cooking. And I teach people all over the world how to make natural perfume, and I have my own perfume line.
How did you come about writing Essence and Alchemy? It was in the 90s, right?
Yes. When I wrote Essence and Alchemy, there was nothing. There was nothing out there at all. The world of perfume was very, very different when I first wrote it. And it was a deep dive in the beginning into those turn of the century books, which I had collected by then about 100 of them. And my wanting to both learn more myself and share this extraordinary world I had tumbled into. And my museum is a way of bringing it alive. But the world that I discovered in Essence and Alchemy, about the essences, about their lore, their history, their place in people's lives, there was nothing like that. And I wanted to dig up and share that information about natural essences and how to use them.
And why naturals? Why did you focus so much on natural essences?
Well, to me, they're gorgeous, and I'm very attracted to beauty. I love everything about how they smell, how they evolve. I love their tangled history with us as people on this planet, across the globe, across time, all the way back into the Bible and coming forward. They're extraordinarily complex. And for me, they're something I can never get to the bottom of. I can go on being curious and learning about them. And I love having an artistic practice like people have, say, in cooking, where you can make something superb with good ingredients and not a lot of them or a lot of them. I just like the whole practice.
And your book has been out for 2 decades now, and it
Yes.
has become a reference for many self-taught perfumers. Some are amateurs and some are professionals. What kind of feedback did you get from your readers in over 20 years?
I get the most marvelous feedback from people about that book. As you said, professional perfumers and people who work with naturals only, but people who work in mixed media with naturals and synthetics, and people who work in synthetics. Andy Tower, great perfumer, said he started with that book. Victor Wong told me he started with that book. Douglas Little, who is the perfumer for Heretic, was my student. Maki Ueda, who works in more conceptual, artistic pursuits with natural essences. And people just write me or put up a picture of themselves with the book. It has been published in in 14 languages. So it's really all over the world. And I hear from people all the time about how important that book is to them, which is thrilling and heartfelt for me, to have that connection with people through that book.
Well, that's great. There will be many more in France from now on. Before you go, Mandy, could you just tell us what would be your advice for someone who wishes to start making perfume, say today?
The first thing I'd say is really to have fun and to pick the best essences that you can, get small amounts of as good an essence as you can, to study those materials, to just some of the guidelines that are in the book, to really get acquainted with the materials you have. You don't need a lot. I would say to some of the key to working with natural essences is to make things over and over, making tiny changes, and then paying attention to how that affects things, to not judge yourself, and most of all, to have fun.
Thank you very much, Mandy. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.